Hello, I'm here at Red Point Beach on the west coast of Scotland, and I'll just give you a wee glimpse. It's really rather lovely, isn't it? This one is the second in a short series on my journey to creativity, and this one's really my journey to listening. And I think that journey started fairly soon after I made that sort of leap of faith as an adult. And I realised I wanted to hear from God. I was told that you could hear from God, and that seemed like such an exciting thing, but almost an impossible thing. I didn't really know where to start. So I started somewhere a little bizarre, really. I started as I was driving the car, and I got to a junction, and there was a time when I could go different ways. I started saying, shall I go left or shall I go right? And as I did that, it seems like such a silly thing, but actually it was somewhere where it didn't make any difference, but it was a place where I could begin to trust God and begin to hear from Him, and just, I guess, open myself up to hearing from Him, which was probably the most important thing of all. Then later on, I saw in a newspaper an advert by a death row prisoner, Roy Kennedy, who's on death row in Trinidad and Tobago, for someone, or he wanted correspondence, he wanted pen pals. And I thought, I could do that. At the time I had 3 children, and and it's great doing stuff around the house, but I wanted something that was more out there in the world, and this, I thought, was my opportunity. And also I'd been really struck the story, or the parable of the talents, and it talks about being faithful in the small things and God giving you more. So I thought, this is a good small thing to be doing, to be writing to a prisoner, to be able to encourage him. And part of the thing that I found challenging, I guess, was the fact that I needed to hear from God in order to know what to say. Here I was writing to someone with very little hope and possibly a short future, and I had to really put myself in a position to say, Lord, I need to know what to share. And sometimes that was family news, and sometimes that was more deep, meaningful things, some encouraging things, some things connected with my faith. And I used to, each time I'd sit down, I used to say, I used to just have to be open to God and say, just tell me what to share or what to do, when to write. And then actually, after that, I actually started writing to a number of prisoners across the world, one through an organisation here in the UK that connects you with people, British people in prisons, writing to probably over a dozen prisoners in different places. And again, that was the same challenge of sitting down, really not knowing what to write and trying to find things, really just being open to trying to find things that we could share that wasn't about possessions, wasn't about money, but was about the things that really mattered in life. So that was really helpful and encouraging to me. It's definitely helpful in terms of my journey in hearing from God. One of the things I've learned over the years is the wonderful, simple truth that actually God is so much bigger than I am. And so His ability to speak is so much bigger than my inability to hear. I used to think, well, what if I can't hear? And isn't that ridiculous? Here's God, He's big, He's enormous, He's immense, He's unimaginably enormous and amazing. And I'm thinking, can I hear from Him? And then you realise in this book, Bible, He speaks through a donkey, He speaks from the clouds, He can speak through anyone. So then I'm like, well then, who am I to be able to block God? So in a sense, me just opening myself up and saying, Lord, I want you to speak through me, had to be enough. And I've found that I've probably only really sort of grasped that in the last couple of years, that actually His ability to speak is so much greater than my inability to hear. Did you get that? His ability to speak is way, way greater than my inability to hear. So that's been me from Red Point Beach in the west coast of Scotland. Hope you have a great day.